And in the distance, she sees a car coming. And my girl, just back inside, she turns off all the candles. And she goes in the room and she grabs the glicky. And she waits in the shadows. Y'all mess with Paulina, okay? My girl's head stays on a swivel, all right? Hey guys, it's been quite a while, I know. But I'm back. Welcome to Real Talk, a video podcast where I discuss movies and TV more extensively and how art imitates life, imitates art. So bear with me. It's been quite a while. I might be rusty. For the first time, I'll be watching a movie recommended to me by one of you guys. So huge shout out to @Moam1235 for suggesting that I watch the 1994 thriller Death in the Maiden. So if you guys have a specific movie you want me to check out or break down, drop it in the comments and I will try to get to it as fast as I can. There will be spoilers, okay? I'm just full disclosure. I'm spoiling the heck out of this movie. But it did come out in 1994, so you should be all right. Hey guys, real quick, just wanted to give a quick trigger warning. Some of the subject matter may be sensitive to those in reference to sexual assault. No imagery though, just discussing it. In the meantime, let's get into it. The movie opens up with a quartet playing on a stage in a small auditorium. We're talking two violinists, a celloist, and someone playing the viola. Would you call him the violist? I used to play the viola, by the way. I miss the orchestra. I should never have quit. Anyway, in the crowd of this small auditorium, you see Sigourney Weaver, who plays our lead character, Paulina Escobar. And next to her is her dashing husband, Gerardo. And they are watching this quartet play this beautiful music, this beautiful sound. But, I don't know, she looks a little off. You know what I mean? Just a tad bit. Then we jump ahead to a house sitting on the edge of a cliff by a beach of some sorts. And it's storming, it's raining, and we get a title card that says, "A country in South America after the fall of a dictatorship." So you know they've been through some stuff. We're about to get into it. Let me tell you, this weather, like the storm, the rain, all of that, oh my gosh, it is the perfect weather to snuggle up with a good book and a snack or to just sleep. But not my girl Paulina. She is cooking. She's throwing it down in the kitchen. Chicken, salad. I'm hungry just actually talking about it. So she's setting the mood, setting the table for two. She's listening to the radio. There's no TV in this house that I have seen. So radio it is. I kind of miss the radio. You know what I mean? I know the radio still exists, but I mean like a little boom box and just, I don't know, something about that, you know? But anyway, so she's listening as she's setting the table for two and getting her things together. And she hears an announcement that the new appointed president has also just appointed a new head over a committee that's going to investigate like acts of torture and murder. Remember, guys, they just went through a dictatorship and overthrew it. So a lot of bad things happened before all that. But this guy that he names to be the new appointed head over this commission is Gerardo Escobar. And Paulina stops dead in her tracks. She pauses. So clearly there's a problem here. Not sure what exactly, but clearly there's a problem. Then the power goes out. Just like that. No radio, no phone, no lights. Girl, you might as well just go to sleep. That's what I would have done. But, you know, Paulina, she made this great dinner. She's starving. She takes her food and she goes and she eats it in a closet for some weird reason. Not at the table. Not sure why exactly. Then she decides to go outside and stand in the rain.
In the rain.
Girl, you got a porch. Be under the cover. Like, why are you getting yourself wet? Like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know why, but she is just standing in the rain, letting herself get drenched. And in the distance, she sees a car coming. And my girl, just back inside, she turns off all the candles. And she goes in the room and she grabs the Glicky. And she waits in the shadows. Y'all mess with Paulina, okay? My girl's head stays on a swivel, all right? But turns out it's just her husband getting a ride from some guy who helped him out. Apparently he got a flat tire and this guy drove by and helped him, dropped him off and left. And we find out that her husband's name is Gerardo Escobar. So yes, the guy we just heard getting appointed over the new committee for the torture and investigation, all that stuff, that's the guy. Who are these people? Spies? Former CIA agents or something? What's going on? So he gets inside. She's getting his dinner together because he's super late because he caught a flat. And she's asking him about how the meeting with the president. And he talks to the president about, the commission and the direction they're trying to go. And, Gerardo's like, babe, listen, I just got home. I'm hungry. I'm wet. I'm tired. I don't really want to talk about it. And Paulina's like, oh, word? Okay. No problem, dog. No problem. She scoops up his food and throws it in the garbage. And at that point, she and I got to fight. Because ain't no way you throwing out my food. You grabbing up my plate. No, we got to fight. That's it. We got to fight. Listen, there are a few things I don't play about. You know what I'm saying? God, my family, my food. Like, we would have a problem. Okay? So then Gerardo's like, okay, no, we can talk about it. And she's like, did you take the job? He goes, I told them I have to talk to you about it. No, sir. We heard you on the radio. Like, we heard the announcement that you got the job. You took it already. So she confronts him and tells him, you already took it, didn't you? And he was like, all right, yeah, you got me. I'm lying. I did take it. We know this. Gerardo, we know this. Don't lie. So she's really upset because apparently this new commission, yes, the focus is to investigate the people that were tortured and during the dictatorship, but they're not interested in the victims who are still alive. They're just focusing on getting justice for those who have passed away. And that's not enough for Miss Paulina. So Gerardo's like, listen, I will change the president's mind. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to make him see. Paulina's not convinced, but they kiss, they make up, and they go to bed. Then later on, middle of the night, my girl Paulina is chilling in the living room. She's laying on her couch in her peace, just chilling, and she hears a car approaching. And she shoots up, looks outside, and she's like, oh no, it's hammer time. You know what she's going to go get? That click. So my girl, she gets, listen. Okay? I cannot stress enough that they live on the edge of a cliff. They don't have neighbors for possibly miles. It's the middle of the night. And there's a new regime happening. Things have turned the tide. They've survived a dictator. I ain't taking no chances. I don't know who this is. How many friends come in the middle of the night? Now, the phones are out, so nobody could call you to announce themselves. And this is before cell phones. But still. She grabs the Glicky. She wakes up Gerardo. She goes, yo, there's a car coming. Yo, get up. So Gerardo, he's up. He's like, oh, snap. Ready to go. So he peers out the window. And he looks and he sees. He's like, oh, babe, don't even sweat it. That's the dude that dropped me off earlier. Dr. Miranda. It's fine. I'm going to go see about him. I don't care. It's the middle of the night. Yes, he was nice to drop you off. Why is he coming back? In the middle of... Can I stress to you guys the middle of the night? No. Listen, somebody better be dead for you to come to my door. Middle of the night. Or dying. That was a bit harsh. Let me dial it back a little bit. So Gerardo answers the door and they're talking at the doorstep. And so Paulina, though, she hides. She doesn't want to be seen or anything like that. She's hiding in the shadows and she's listening to them talk. And the more they're talking, the more unsettled she's starting to look. You know what I'm saying? Like, my girl is not feeling this conversation. Something is amiss here. She doesn't like what's happening. So Dr. Miranda is talking to Gerardo. He's like, "Oh, I heard about your new position. I heard you're the new commissioner. Well, the new head of the commission. Congratulations. Blah, 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 blah. Heard it on the radio. Blah, 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 blah." So Gerardo's like, "Oh, yeah, it's good." Listen, turns out Dr. Miranda is like a fanboy. For real. He's like, "Oh, I've been following your career for years. Blah, blah, blah." All right. I don't know about y'all, but we are on red flag number 2. 1, show up to my house in the middle of the night. Yes, I know you dropped me off a few hours earlier. I know. But why'd you come back? 2, you are admiring me a little bit too hard right now for the middle of the night for someone I don't know. It's just, not feeling it. All right. Okay. Let me clear something up. Okay. Dr. Miranda came back because he was returning Gerardo's flat tire or something, his spare tire, because apparently that's why he needed the ride in the first place. He got a flat out in this horrible storm. Dr. Miranda came by, picked him up, and dropped him off or whatever. So he forgot to give him his tire. So he came all the way back to give him his tire. Red flag. Maybe I'm just too cynical, but no, I will see you tomorrow. I can get you your tire tomorrow. You ain't going nowhere tonight. You don't need it. So then Gerardo was like, "Dr. Miranda, why don't you come in? I don't want, I want to leave out in the rain." And that's when Paulina, she starts going a little bit of cray-cray. You know what I mean? She is like, what's happening? So she starts, so she jumps into the bed and closes her eyes. Just as Gerardo comes in the room to see if she's awake, because he's like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to the guy, Dr. Miranda, blah, blah." And she's like, "Oh, no, I'm just tired. I'm sleeping." He goes, "Okay." And he leaves the room, closes the door. The minute he does that, she jumps up, grabs the bag, starts grabbing her stuff, tossing in the bag, grabbing up money, throwing in the bag. My girl is planning a great escape or something, because what is happening? What is this? So once she gets this bag, she sneaks outside. Okay. And meanwhile, inside the living room, Dr. Miranda and Gerardo, they're just talking all stuff. And I mean, Gerardo's being such a chatty Cathy.
"So, you must be excited about the committee."
Because Dr. Miranda is asking him all these questions about the position and everything. And he's just like, blah, 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 just giving it all up. Yo, be careful who you tell your business to. Guys, seriously. Anyway, moving on. So, Gerardo says to Dr. Miranda, "Hey, I'm going to tell you something that the president told me." I'm going to stop you right there. How long have you known this man? 2.5 seconds? And you're disclosing something to him that the president said to you? Be careful who you tell your business to. You don't know this man from Adam? So he tells him that, according to the president, regarding the torture and all other stuff, that there are actually hundreds of people willing to come forward with their stories. I will say, Dr. Miranda is like, oh, word. The facial expression, I'm like, what's that all about? So then they're interrupted by his car getting stolen by Paulina. Yeah. She snuck outside with her bag, got in his car, and drove away. What is happening? I know that we can be a little crazy sometimes, but usually there's a reason for it. So I need more context before I start judging. Paulina takes the car, drives it out to whatever one of the edges, and she's searching it, and she finds a video cassette that really seems to have her perturbed. I'm assuming it's the same song from the beginning. She then takes it out, puts the car in gear, and sends it over the cliff. My gal, what is the plan here? So she heads back to the house, and by this time, Dr. Miranda and Gerardo, they're like, I don't know, 4 or 5 drinks in probably. They are both drunk out cold. She sneaks in, okay, grabs her protection, okay, her little side piece, if you know what I'm talking about, and she ties up Dr. Miranda. Well, okay, she knocks him out. He's on the couch. Like, he's on the couch, and Gerardo's in the room. So when she sneaks in, she, like, sees Dr. Miranda stirring on the couch, and she, like, knocks him. She, bam, clocks him right in the head with the butt of the gun. And then she ties him up in a chair. So then she tapes over his mouth, and he wakes up, and she's, like, talking to him. She's like, do you remember me? Oh, it's getting serious out here. And he's like, he can't talk anyway. He's just like shaking his head like, chick, I don't know you. What's up? So then she puts the cassette in the little radio and starts playing it. Well, okay, so I know the power's out, but like this one is the one that had batteries, like a portable one. So she starts playing it like a stereo. And starts playing the song, the music, Death of a Maiden. And this wakes up Gerardo out of his little sleep. He's like, what is going on? He comes out, and now she has the gun on Dr. Miranda and him. And she's like, welcome, sweetheart. Gerardo is so confused. He's like,
okay, am I still dreaming? Am I even sober? What am I looking at right now?
And Paulina drops a bomb. She says, this is the guy that had me blindfolded and tortured all those years ago when I was in, I want to say college. Plot twist. And he's like, are you sure? Because you were, again, blindfolded. And she goes, yeah. I know his voice. I know his laugh. I know his smell. And then she gets one big whiff and smells him. She goes, yep, that's the guy. A little unsettling. Ugh. Okay. To be fair, this new bit of information really explains her temperament and some of her actions now. It's all starting to make sense. I told you guys, I tend to be a little crazy, but we have reasons most of the time. Okay, so Gerardo is scared. He's like, okay, babe, calm down. You got the gun. This is crazy. What's happening? We gotta like free him and get this situated. But Paulina will not be deterred. Ain't no way she backing down now. No, they're about to have a mini trial right here in this living room. And Gerardo gets to be Dr. Miranda's lawyer because he's a man of the law. So Gerardo tries to free Dr. Miranda, but my girl like shoots off a warning shot. No, we are doing this. This is happening. This is the guy. Don't touch him. She lets Gerardo take off the tape out of his mouth. And the first thing Dr. Miranda is like, listen, I don't know you. I never seen you before. What is this? This is crazy. Please let me go. I want out of here.
I don't know who she is. I don't even know what she thinks I've done.
Then Paulina, ignoring his pleas, states her accusations to the good doctor.
I accuse Dr. Miranda of raping Paulina Lorca on 14 separate occasions.
Not looking good. So Gerardo and Paulina go outside to talk while, Dr. Miranda's all tied up to the chair. And he's trying to talk some sense to Paulina. He's like, okay, listen, even if this is the guy, we could be charged with kidnapping or worse. Like, he needs a proper trial. Like, you don't even know if it's the guy. You're not even sure. And she goes, no. I'm sure. This is the guy. You cannot convince her otherwise. She knows this is the guy. Point blank simple. Gerardo's like, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Paulina don't care. No, babe. He's like, yo, this is not gonna help the cause and the victims and all. So she goes, I don't care. I've given enough to the cause. I've sacrificed enough to the cause. It's time for something from me. So this is where she would find out that when they were both students in college, that Gerardo was like the editor of some liberation paper that was against the regime. And Paulina worked there as well, and they had kidnapped her and apparently was torturing her for information because they wanted her to give up the name of the editor, Gerardo. My girl did not budge. She never gave up the name. Never. That's a ride or die right there. Which makes sense why he's kind of like not trying to really stop her hardcore from doing what's happening. Because I feel like he could have lunged and grabbed the gun or something, or, like disarm her in some way. But this makes sense. She was tortured to protect you, dog. I see why you give her space and let her run this. So then Paulina swears that it's him. And let me just say, this is the first time. So Gerardo knew that she was captured and tortured for months. He knew after the fact. But this is the first time that he heard that she had been assaulted. He didn't know that happened to her. He thought it was just the torture is bad enough. Okay, don't get me wrong. The torture is horrible enough. But on top of it, sexual assault, not looking good. He tells her, okay, I want to hear all the details now.
Do you really want me to? Because I can.
Yes.
Are you sure? Because it's pretty bad. And Gerardo's like, no, I would like to know exactly what happened to you. All right. But I don't know how long they've been married. 20 years could be. I don't know. But they're about to get into the nitty gritty of it. So she starts laying out the details. The gory, unfortunate, uncomfortable, horrible details. And she tells him that all she wants is the truth. That once he confesses, she'll let him go and stop this whole thing. So all right. So while she's questioning him in the bathroom, they get a phone call. Apparently, the phones are working again. Yay. And Gerardo answers it and finds out that the president is sending over some guards for Gerardo's safety. Again, remember, they just overthrew a regime not too long ago. And then they're trying to make moves to put the people to justice that did horrible things. So he's concerned about Gerardo's safety. So he wants to send some guards over to make sure everything's good. Bet. Gerardo was like,
Okay, got it. How long? Couple hours? All right. Take care.
hangs up, and he immediately goes to Paulina, pulls her aside and says, yo, we gotta stop this because they gonna be here very soon. TikTok. We can't be caught with this. It's gonna be bad. This guy gotta go. So then Pauline's like, okay, perfect. Let's just go push him off the cliff. What? I'm sorry. Say it in my good ear, baby girl. You want us to push this man off the cliff? Oh, yeah. Apparently that was her plan. That's why she made the car go over the cliff, make it look like he drove off a cliff by accident. Very slick, Paulina. And quick thinking. You're thinking her reactions are erratic, but no, my girl got a plan the whole time. It's all up in here. So they're arguing, and then she's comes out and is like, yo, okay, well, did you love her? And you're like, whoa, this is coming out of left field. What are we talking about? So apparently when Paulina got snatched and tortured, Gerardo ended up having some relations of the intimate kind with another girl for a month. Now hold on, before y'all come from my boy. In his defense, Paulina had been gone for a couple months. This is during the time where secret police, there's all things happening. So he thought that she was KO'd. He didn't know that she was still alive when he had this little fling. And the minute he found out she was alive, oh, girl, bye. My real woman is here. So then Paulina relents and decides to really dig into the details and give him the details of what happened. And she tells him that if Dr. Miranda confesses, she'll let him go. She promises. It's all she wants is the truth. Gerardo is like, okay, but in his heart of hearts, he really doesn't feel like this might be the guy. It was a long time ago. So then Gerardo goes back to Dr. Miranda while Paulina's outside, and he's coaching him on the details and things that happen. This is what you're gonna say, because if you don't say these things, she's gonna kill you. You wanna live, dog? Say you did this. I know it may seem like Gerardo is being a bad guy here, but in all honesty, he really just wants some resolution for his wife, some way to end her suffering, her pain, some way to help her let this go and move on. So I can't fully fault him, you know. People do things for different reasons, and some of the most worst things have been done with the best of intentions. So in here, he had good intentions, but doing it this way is, I don't know. Anyway, so moving on. So now Dr. Miranda is sitting in front of the camera, and he is like deadpanned, saying, yeah, I did this, I did that, and this.
I took part in 94 interrogations. They told me the prisoners were dying.
And Paulina flips out, yo. She's like, your heart's not in it. I know you are purposely saying things wrong because you're trying to make it seem like this is under duress, which technically it is. But she goes to Geraldo. She goes, I know you coached him. I know he coached you. Because there are things that I told him wrong on purpose to see if he would tell you to say these things. My girl Paulina is thinking 3 steps ahead. She's not dumb. She gave Gerald some wrong information, but little things like, you know, saying she got tied up with rope instead of wire, so she would know whether or not he was coached. Right up here. While Paulina and Geraldo are like arguing, Dr. Miranda like pops up. I guess this dude got freed, distracted. You know, they were distracted. Pops up, wrestles with my girl, overtakes her, grabs the gun, and now he has the gun and puts it to her head. And he's like, listen, I just want to get out of here. Just let me leave. Just let me go home. In all fairness, this is a reasonable request from somebody holding a gun. But as he's getting to the door with, you know, some music comes on, or the lights suddenly come on because I guess the power is fully back up, which distracts him. And then Paulina, bam, gets the upper hand. And now she got the gun again. And she's like, all right, you know what? This confession stuff ain't working out. It's time to go. She's like, all right, let's go. And, you know, Dr. Miranda's like, no, listen, when you were captured, I wasn't even here. I was at some medical place or whatever, residency in Spain. Just call them. And Paulina's like, nah, dog, I don't believe you. Let's roll. And she starts guiding him down towards the cliff. Geraldo's freaking out. He picks up the phone. He calls the Spanish school like, yo, was this guy here at this time? And they're like, oh, yeah, he was here. He was here. Okay. So then he runs to the cliff as Paulina is standing, like, you know, over it with Dr. Miranda, ready to push him. And he's like, no, he didn't do it. He wasn't there. I spoke to specifically this girl, Elaine, and she says that he wasn't there. So mind you, Dr. Miranda had said, yeah, you can ask Elaine, I was there. So Paulina's like, nah, you mean to tell me that this Elaine chick remembers exactly the date from 15 years ago that Dr. Miranda, was there serving residency off top of her head? Nah, that's a setup and a cover up. Nope, you ain't gonna get me. I mean, she's making valid points. So then she turns to Dr. Miranda and she asks him dead in his face, eye to eye, you did assault me, didn't you? And lo and behold, something in that gaze, something between the two of them, something inside Dr. Miranda must have just clicked. And this dude told everything. He gave up the ghost.
How many times?
Many times. I raped you many times. 14 times.
Turned out, Paulina was right. This was the guy. Let me tell you something, guys. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
The others egged me on. Come on, doctor, you're not going to refuse free meat, are you? I couldn't think straight.
Oh my gosh, like he is confessing to even worse things. And you realize how much he reveled in it. How much, like, at first he was there to help the captured peoples. And keep them like medically like aware and stuff. But then you find out that after a while, the power starts going to his head, and he realizes, oh, they're trapped here. I can do whatever I want.
People lying totally helpless. And I didn't have to be nice. I didn't have to seduce them.
So gross. And after he goes through his whole spiel about his victims and how he looked down on them and how he was like so drunk with power and everything and took advantage of all of them because they were strapped to the table, blindfolded. They didn't know where to go. They couldn't move. They were at his mercy. And he gave no mercy. Something snapped in Gerardo. He goes, oh, this dude gotta go. So he runs and grabs him to home over the cliff. But he can't. It's just not in his nature. He just can't do it. And he apologizes to Paulina and says, I can't do it. So Paulina goes over and unties Dr. Miranda and just walks away. And we fade into back where we were at the beginning, where there's a quartet on stage playing, you guessed it, Death in the Maiden. And we see where Paulina's in the crowd with her husband, Gerardo. But this time, she looks up to, like the little, I don't know what you call them, like the little balcony. We have your own personal balcony in the auditorium. And we see Dr. Miranda staring down at her. And surrounding him is his family. And we see Paulina return her attention back to the performance. Still a perturbed look on her face. And we fade to black. The end. My thoughts. I'll be honest, guys. The first time watching this was a bit of a challenge. It's kind of a slow burn. And things don't really pick up until Act 2 and Act 3. But on a second rewatch, I was able to truly appreciate it. The film spends the first act like giving you bits of information and like the dialogue. It's just the weird things the characters are doing and all that combination. Like you're not spoon-fed things. Like you're just literally like just little hints here and there, little nuggets dropped here and there. And it's important that you do pay attention to because those things come back later. So I guess I was expecting a different type of film going in. So I think it's part of why I missed some of it the first time around and wasn't really truly able to like appreciate it, Or maybe I've been ruined by modern cinema and need things to blow up in the first 10 minutes. God, I hope not. When you find out that she was a prisoner and all the horrible things that were done to her, everything she does and says makes sense. Like you realize why she is the way she is and why she moves the way she moves. And the subtle way that the dialogue like throws in little digs through the movie, like thinking about it, looking back on it now, you're like, oh man, wow. For instance, when Gerardo invites Dr. Miranda in his house and he goes into the room to tell Paulina he wants to introduce her to him.
Come out and say a quick hello, he's harmless.
Which in hindsight, knowing all that he did, it's the irony, is purposeful because Dr. Miranda, he doesn't necessarily give off super villain vibes. Maybe creep for sure, but not super villain vibes. But when you find out what he's done, you're like, okay, yeah, it's in there beneath the surface. And another one was when him and this is after she took the car and left, because while she took the car and did all she was doing with the car, Dr. Miranda and Gerardo were just sitting there drinking, talking about women and everything, and not in a derogatory way or anything, but just like, oh man, like she's crazy, I don't know, I love her, but what's going on? And she's just mad at me, so she stole your car. Oh, la la la, whoop-de-doo, But that tells me, his reaction also tells me that yes, she's a firecracker. She's always been a firecracker. And the fact that she never gave up the ghost under torture further cements how badass this chick is. Oh, and so when they're drinking and everything and they're laughing and talking, literally, I believe it was Dr. Miranda that says, we became friends tonight. Which, again, by the end of the night, or into the next morning, they're now enemies. So the other interesting that they explore between the two men talking is they're talking about what should be done about the people who committed the heinous acts during like the dictatorship and the when the revolution was rising up and everything. And the two men are on different spectrums. Dr. Miranda is like, oh, we should have no mercy. We should take all of them and like have them stand out against a shooting squad. Whereas Gerardo's like, no, we can't. We have to be better. We are not replacing one regime who was violent with another regime that was violent. We have to come better. They will be tried and do the legal course of action. We cannot go that route. It's so interesting when you realize who the doctor is, how he's gunning for this, because is a part of him, a small part, feeling like he deserves to be taken out and shot. And again, another thing about their conversation is Dr. Miranda, he says, oh, I think it was Nietzsche, like he's quoting, like I think it was Nietzsche that said, we can never entirely possess the female soul. And I think that a part of that is lingering from the fact that when he had all this power, he had all this control, and he was like drunk off of it, that he loved it, he missed it, he wanted it. Like what he wanted was all of them. He honestly, essentially, I think he tried in a way to take, or at least break, these women and their souls. Because again, Paulina wasn't the only victim. He even admitted on the cliff that he loved it. He loved having that power, loved what he was doing, and he misses it.
I was naked in the bright light, and you couldn't see me. You couldn't tell me what to do. I owned you. I owned all of them.
That is a true monster. The other thing about this movie, like I said, like the first act is a little bit like, of kind of laying the foundations for who these characters are, going through the depths, trying to dig through the conversations and how they move. It's like a what you call like a bottom movie, because it mostly takes place in like one location for the most part, which is the house on the cliff. They must have saved a bunch of money on production. And when they were initially arguing about him taking the position, but they decided to make up, they talked about moving forward, having a family and adopting a baby. And when Paulina says it, she says it with tears in her eyes, and you realize it's because of the torture that she experienced before that she is unable to have her own children. Because, I mean, when I say torture, they were like doing the shock treatment to private areas. Monsters, all of them. So when I first watched this, I didn't really understand why she didn't just push him off the cliff. I'm like, he's right there. You're right there. Push this dude, end this, get him out of here. But then on the second watch, I got a better understanding of it. All she wanted was for the truth to come out, was for him to say the truth. He was fighting it and fight. They were going back and forth. He was fighting it and fighting it and fighting it. And finally, he admitted the truth. He let out all the gory details and said it. And still, it did not bring the peace that she needed. But she knew that she would. She even says this. She knew that she would not probably ever have that peace or that wholeness that she lost. And I think she realized that whether he was alive or dead, it would still be the case. And at the end of the day, her goal was achieved. He confessed. Now, how he explains to his wife what happens to the car, I don't know. Now, during this time when she had the upper hand, she mocked him. She restrained him. She technically beat him a little bit and forced him to relieve himself in front of her. It was a whole thing. Like, he had to go to the bathroom, and she's like, you go. And she had the gun on him and everything, standing next to him. And she's like, yeah, doesn't feel good, does it? Man. I mean, she essentially humiliated him. And she was now the one in control. She took her power back. Some of it. But, again, I don't even know how much therapy she would need to go through to really fully feel whole. So concerning the end scene, I'm wondering if it's more like a metaphor, for the whole situation. Because the fact that she's listening to this song here's the thing about the song that I didn't mention earlier. While he was torturing her when she's blindfolded, mind you, he played the song, that same song. So that's why her finding the cassette in there was a big deal. Her playing the song for him was a big deal. And why, again, the beginning and the end scene sandwiched the movie, the quartet playing that same song. So I'm wondering if it's kind of showing how like it haunts her. She's in the middle of a crowd, but she's still being haunted. And here it is, the doctor and his family are in the balcony above her. Like, he still has that hold over her somehow, So that's kind of where I was thinking maybe that might be going. Like, but you guys, let me know. Like, let me know if I'm misinterpreting it, if there's something much more deeper than I'm missing here. Because for sure, I could be missing something. Let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment. What are your interpretations of this film, of the scene, of the movie? What do you guys think of the movie? Have you ever seen it before? And again, thank you for @Moem1235 for suggesting this to me. I thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys as well. And again, if you want me to cover or review any other movies, drop them in the comments and I will get to them as soon as I can. And if you enjoyed hanging out with me today, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can always be up to date on what's going on. I'm going to be doing more Real Talk episodes, and a little something. And if you're looking for more from me, check out my Patreon, NXG Global Productions, where I post bonuses, behind the scenes, writer's room, exclusives, and more stuff things going on over there. We're also on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart Radio, and wherever else you listen to your podcasts. I'll be sure to leave the links in the caption. Later!